Hello everyone and welcome to Dover, Delaware for tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing 3-Wide TV Cup Series for the Giaquinto Schue Repair 150. My oh my, monster mile here. Of course, Miles the Monster just outside here at Dover International Speedway. Bob, great to be at this mile racetrack here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. This is one of my all-time favorite NASCAR tracks, not only in the service, but in general as well. This is a very, very tricky track, and it's almost like driving on a roller coaster when you're out there with how low the banking is, and then jumping up to even more banking on the straightaway as well. So there's going to be a lot for these drivers to fight all race long, whether it's tire wear, whether it's each other. It's so hard to stay off of each other coming off of the corners, and man, this is just a lot of fun to go here, and I'm ready to get this race started.
Yeah, a couple of drivers rolling out onto the racetrack here for the qualifying session here, 150 miles on hand. Of course, we will have one stage caution here tonight. That will be coming on lap number 35. At the conclusion of lap number 35, I should say, as there is the number 64 out there on the racetrack. That's Vincent Valvano going to the start-finish line. He will begin his time lap here in the pole shootout. Right there, new look on the number one machine. We'll be talking about this here, but really, really cool to have Garrett Gleason, who works in one of the many independent school districts here in the US of A. Has some students, and they all painted up a bunch of cars, and this one right here is a car painted by Emily, or designed by Emily on, I think, Crayola. Good old Crayola. Remember Crayolas? And I heard that some people like to eat Crayolas in a certain armed, we won't go there anyway. But right now, the number 99 Philip Scott, top of the board, looking to rebound here tonight after having a tough race last week.
Yeah, definitely had a really tough race last week. Was definitely one of the front runners to win last week, but put on one heck of a lap there, 23.083. But as I say that, Jamar Dumas goes 1/10 of a second quicker at a 28.082. That'll put him up on the board. But yeah, Peter, Philip had a very tough race last week. Got caught up in an accident late in the race, and you know, it's a shame because he was definitely one of the cars to beat out there. I had the pole, led a whole bunch of laps, dominated the first stage, and unfortunately was not able to get the job done.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 25 seconds left here in qualifying. Looking right now at the number 5 machine. This is David Duran Jr. Got Valvoline. I was about to say Valvano. Wouldn't that be kind of cool if Vincent Valvano ran the Valvoline machine? That would be so tough to say. The Vincent Valvano Valvoline machine. I would have to say that one a little bit slower just to get everything out of my mouth and articulated well. So Duran smacks the wall off at turn number 2. And I'll tell you what, Bob, I was watching a race here the other night that we broadcasted here on the channel I think it was last Wednesday night, if I recall, and a lot of drivers struggled with that turn 2 exit. Of course, this racetrack race is a little bit like a roller coaster, but with the way these current Cup cars are, with the ground effect that they actually get, you think maybe turn number 2 and turn number 4 are going to be calamity corners here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. You're carrying so much speed through the corner, and when you're coming up off the racetrack, you're kind of going up a little hump there, as we'll see here with the 50 of Bill Edwards. You kind of come up and almost get a little bit of airtime right there, and that's exactly what happens. Is the 50 of Bill Edwards there smacks the wall there coming out of 4. You know, it is just so hard to do because the car is so light, and momentum is going to want to carry it towards the outside, towards that wall, and you know, you just scrape the wall just a little bit, and you know, I could see that happening a lot, especially if drivers are, fighting handling issues as the run goes on.
Yeah, that is for sure. There's Bill Edwards, one of the other machines that was designed by some youngsters. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Garrett Gleason, number 7 machine here out there on the racetrack in the Zor's Power machine. Garrett, seeing a lot of well-colored machines here tonight. Tell us about it.
Well, Peter,
I have to thank Mrs. Kishel and the second grade class at Old Forge Elementary for helping us with this project. They all designed their own race cars, so I have to thank them. They did a fantastic job, Peter, and I'm pumped to personally be running my number 7 Sophia design. But for those that don't see their cars out there, don't worry, we're going to do something pretty cool with them. But Peter, I think they did a fantastic job. There might be a job in these kids' future soon.
Yeah, of course, you've designed a real-life NASCAR scheme, and, well, you know what? You have to tell them about that, and maybe they themselves can get on a real-life NASCAR scheme. But really, really cool to see. Looking forward to see where that project goes. But 150 laps here tonight. Garrett, what do you think it's going to take?
It's going to take somebody beating that number 1 of Jason Gracias. He's very good at this place, Peter, and I think he's the car to beat. I love racing this track. This is personally one of my favorites, but I wish to someday be as good as Jason Gracias on track, and I wish to also be as good as these kids were designing these race cars someday, Peter. I have a lot to shoot for in life. I just hope I could get one achievement before I was all said and done.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be cool to see him and the cars out there, and who knows what you have in store for you here tonight, Garrett. But good luck, and we'll talk to you again later.
Thanks, guys, and appreciate Bob for sponsoring the race. So hope he gets some love, and really appreciate everything he does for us here at TNR. And whoever that guy is that partners with him, some Peter Short guy, he's pretty cool too.
He is absolutely awful, let me tell you. But we'll let Garrett go back to his grid because we got these cars out there about to get rolling. Let's see if we can bring up, though, tonight's starting lineup for all of you folks at home. It is Jamar Dumas on the pole for the Giaquinto Shoe Repair 150. Philip Scott starting alongside him. And look at that, dead heat at the top of the board. Matthew Rodriguez, 2/1000ths of a second slower. We're rolling off from the inside of row number 2. Jason Gracias there in 4th. Mitchell Adams rounding out on the inside of row number 3. Tristan Thuggy Maher alongside him. Bill Edwards and Robert Tripp 7th and 8th. David Durand and Jake Bustos running out our top 10 there, Bob.
In row number 6, we've got the 64 machine of Vincent Valvano and Johnny Williams there. Good to see him out there on the racetrack starting in 12th. Keith Carball and Mike Floppy Tellier in row number 7. Floppy's going to have a drive-through penalty to start the race after some contact between he and Philip Scott last week. And then rounding out the field, the 7 of Garrett Gleason and the 3 of Jason Schue.
So 16 drivers here tonight at Dover International Speedway as the field does start to get rolling here on the channel. See everyone out there. Bob, it's going to be a little bit of patience here tonight. Seeing a lot of drivers smacking the wall. I think that's something that you're going to have to minimize if you want to get to go to victory lane tonight.
Absolutely, Peter. These cars can be pretty fragile when it comes to making contact with the wall. So, this is going to be one of those things where the drivers are really going to have to, lay off the gas a little bit more. They're going to want to go all in right away. And, they're going to have to lay off just a little bit just to, save their car and save their tires and try to get the car out of the wall. But, it's definitely going to be tough here as the lights on the pace truck are off and we're getting ready to go green, Peter.
Getting set to go green flag here at Dover International Speedway, like we mentioned. 150 laps, 150 miles. We will have a stage caution on lap number 35, but the pace truck is down onto pit road. And Bob, we're green flag here at Dover as Jamar Dumas gets us underway. Good start with the number 28 Stay Tuned Sports Schemes right there. And look who's creeping up behind, and that's the number 57, Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez here going to have a look to the inside in that new Kroger scheme. Haven't seen that Kroger scheme this season on Matthew Rodriguez's Toyota Camry, but wow, Rodriguez diving to the lead already as we complete lap number 2. We got Bill Edwards there having some connection problems in the back of the screen.
Yeah, good-looking race car there. Shame for Bill Edwards. Luckily, he's able to get everything going right away, as everyone should be back out there on the racetrack now as we get another good close-up scheme of that number 49 driven by Mitchell Adams there. Another great-looking paint scheme designed by some of the kids there at Old Forge Elementary.
Yeah, and there's the number 1 of Jason Gracias. We highlighted him a little while ago. Let's see if we can pick up Garrett Gleason's number 7. There is Garrett in the pink and purple machine. Good looking ride there, Garrett. He's working his way through turn number 3 and 4 right now. But up at the field, it is Matthew Rodriguez, early race leader. Garrett there racing side by side with Robert Tripp, who is in, well, I think he called it the mint chocolate chip mobile. Definitely my favorite type of ice cream as well. So currently that number 35 is working its way around the racetrack down in the 12th spot as everyone's starting to work their way across. I believe the number 9 machine, which I kind of expected Johnny Williams to be sporting his Red Bull scheme that he would have ran last week in the Robbie Gordon throwback, but instead he's running the Mariana number 9. So that's another one of those schemes painted by those kiddos at Old Forge Elementary. So pretty cool to see Johnny sporting that look. I know Johnny's actually stepped up to the plate a little bit to paint and put some of those schemes that the kids drew with the crayon and put them on these iRacing.com Motorsports Simulation Cup cars. So pretty cool to see that. Meanwhile, out front, Matthew Rodriguez with a half-second lead over Mitchell Adams. And great to see Mitchell Adams back, because it looks like Jamar Dumas just flirted with the outside wall out of turn number 4.
Yeah, he got real close there the last time by, but Matt Rodriguez right now putting on a pretty good clinic there. Driven out to about a 4/10 of a second lead over the 49 of Mitchell Adams there. But so far, so good. Out front, things are looking pretty calm. But in that mid-pack, there's a big old gaggle of cars fighting for about 4th on back.
Yeah, a couple of drivers back there. I'm a little bit surprised at just how kind of strung out the field is, to be honest with you, especially up at the front of the field. But a 35-lap sprint here to kind of get the first stage underway, the one and only stage that we have. We haven't seen a lot of caution flags under green flag conditions. Of course, we do get that caution flag at the stage. Bill Edwards there just getting around Jason Gracias. Gracias now sliding back into the clutches back behind him. Here comes the number 17, and there's the number 74. That's Jake Bustos in another one of those elementary kiddo designed schemes. Gotta love that number 74. Got a lot of hearts on the side of it. In fact, somewhat reminiscent of the scene that Garrett Gleason, those little kids like their hearts, sharing the love out there on the racetrack as that bright pink machine of Jake Bustos heads down the backstretch, currently riding in 8th. He started back in 10th, so he's gained 2 spots. Biggest mover of everyone so far has been Garrett Gleason, who's cracked the top 10 in the number 7.
Yeah, Garrett said in the beginning of this race, this is one of his favorite racetracks. So good to see him there having a strong run early here. And he's going to set his sights now on the next driver. That's the 5 of David Duran, who started 9th and is currently running in 9th. So a little bit of a ways to go, but he's going to get on his Zorse and get on moving.
Yeah, when the race I broadcasted last Wednesday night, believe it or not, Jake Bustos was in that race. He finished up on the podium, not quite second, where we're used to seeing him finish here in the 3Y TV Cup Series. Oh, he gets loose out of turn number 2. Good save out of Bustos there. He's going to lose a spot to the number 17 of Maher, fall into the clutches of David Duran. But this racetrack could come out and bite you quickly. I'm just wondering, Bob, these race tires are starting to wear off a little bit. Could that be a sign of something to expect here over the next 22 laps until that stage caution comes out, as it happens to him again on exit of turn number 2?
Yeah, definitely, and it all kind of boils down to how you're exiting the corner. He was side by side there with the 5 of Durand, and it was a little bit too low, and sometimes that could send the car sliding sideways. So good save by him, but yeah, I mean, Peter, tire wear is definitely going to be a factor here. It's, you're 14 laps into the race. You're always going to be, a little more apt to push the car and see what exactly your car can do on fresh tires, and that could definitely come up to haunt him. But right now, meanwhile at the front here, good side-by-side battle between the 99 of Philip Scott and the 50 of Bill Edwards. Yeah,
Bill Edwards in the number 50 will take that spot and move up to the 4th position. So good job there, Bill. Started in 7th, now running in 4th. Just want to go check out the 3Y TV chat here tonight. We got Johnny Williams saying good luck all, and hello to the booth, Johnny. You're out there on the racetrack, but if you're listening in, buddy, hello. We got the Windsors rooting on Bill Edwards. Hello, Windsors. How are you all tonight? glad to see you once again here in the chat. Gotta say, Bill's running a very bright green and pink machine. Is up a little bit in front. Looks like we got a side-by-side battle brewing for the second spot. This is Mitchell Adams and Jamar Dumas. Remember, Dumas actually started this race on the pole, fell back to third. He just got around Mitchell and back up into second. So how about that? Good run so far for the Stay Tuned Sports 28. Madison in the chat rooting on the number 28 of Jamar Dumas. As, Adams there getting loose off of turn number 2. So it really seems like these cars are getting a little tricky, especially out of turn number 2. Of course, we do have the turn number 2 cam. We'll keep our eyes on that. Maybe we can bring that up this time by. But a good battle here now, battling for fourth as Philip Scott looks to the inside, and Jason Gracias has now crept into the picture.
Yeah, there's Gracias right on the back bumper of Philip Scott. Side by side, things can get really tight there on exit, especially side by side. So good job by those drivers to keep off of one another. As we see the 64 of Vinny Valvano take a look to the inside as well. That was of the 9 of Johnny Williams.
Yeah, I'm bringing the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier, who is currently one lap down, running the Cyberpunk number 97 here tonight. I'm not sure if that's a Cyberpunk Edge Runner machine or just Cyberpunk 2077 scheme, not 100% sure. But right now, Matthew Rodriguez, Bill Edwards, your top two, as Edwards has gotten past Dumas. And you have to think here, Bob, we're starting to see that race lead really start to diminish. A couple of these drivers who must have been saving tires, like Bill Edwards, like Philip Scott, like Jason Gracias, are now really starting to make some inroads. Let's see if we can look at the gap between Matthew Rodriguez and Bill Edwards over the last couple of laps. Look at that, Edwards creeping in, 2.5 tenths, 3 tenths, a full half second, almost 2 laps in a row, and he's still taking chunks out of that lead as we have about 15 or so laps to go until that stage caution.
And Peter, do you think this is really the go time now for these drivers? They're saying, all right, stage break coming at lap 35. I saved. I know how much I need to save. I can go now, get on a fresh pair of shoes there on the track and get going? Or what do you think is the cause there for Edwards to be this quick?
I think just Edwards has really been watching that right front. Usually that's what you have to do here. You have to kind of go into the corner a little bit slower, drag the brake, try and get that thing to rotate using the rear tires. As Rodriguez says, car around in the back. That's Tristan Thuggy Maher, who's gone around right there on your screen. Caution flag number 1 has come out. And Bob, I don't think he hit anything, which is an absolute shock for this racetrack. Usually if you get involved in a wreck, you're hitting something. Let's see what happened here as, Maher just gets loose. David Duran just tags him right there and does a little bit of a 360 and didn't hit anything. No harm, no foul.
Shades of Jimmy Johnson circa 2006, making an amazing save coming out of turn 4, just like we saw that in real life, but definitely had a tiny bit of help, got loose, and then Duran just kind of got into him there as he was spinning. So, a good save by Maher, able to get it out of the wall. And hearing from race control, this will not be the stage break.
Going on board with Tristan Thuggy Maher there. You saw he just got a little bit loose there up off the corner, and that's all it took for him to go around, let the whole field to kind of work their way on by him. Now, we do have tire limits here, and I would think, Bob, that is why we did not see a whole lot of drivers come down pit road.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Looks like to me the 74 of Jake Bustos, the 7 of Garrett Gleason, and 3 of Jason Schue, the only takers there. Little surprised, actually, that Tristan Maher did not come down either.
Yeah, Maher must think, you know what, saving the tires is not a bad deal. There's the number 74, Bustos in his pit box, just wondering if maybe getting some damage repaired. There's Garrett Gleason also getting some damage repaired. There's Jason Schue, who I think had smacked the wall as well. So a couple drivers extended stays on pit road as, Bill Edwards stopped out there on the racetrack. He's finally getting rolling. I think Just waiting for the pace car to catch up, I believe, as we're at caution flag number 1. Now, the big question is there, Bob, is he was completely stopped on the racetrack, and because he was completely stopped on the racetrack, I think he's going to lose the race lead here. Oh, wait, no, I take that back. I think when the caution flag came out, the 57 might have still been in front. Not 100% sure there, but maybe the 57 was still in front because they were side by side for the lead when that yellow flag flew.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It looked like Bill had gotten a little overzealous. I know the pace truck is incredibly slow here at Dover, which is definitely one of my pet peeves here in iRacing of how slow the pace car is at this track. But it looked like the 50 was just, got a little overzealous there with the yellow coming out and got a little too far ahead, and the pace truck slowed down and collected the 57 instead of him.
Yeah, Bill Edwards, ooh, interesting call here. Coming out pit road, pit lane was closed. You saw those red lights there on entrance into pit lane. So this is a very interesting call. I wonder if Bill Edwards might be having problems with some type of technical issue. I don't know what that might be, whether it's hardware related or maybe his computer's acting up. I really don't know. But you saw him get so far out of the out front of the field. I was wondering maybe he just kind of pulled over to have maybe work on something. I really don't know, but that crew will go to work. We'll see whether or not he stays in his pit box, as we are now going to have about a 10-lap shootout for the stage caution. As the pace truck lights have turned off, Matthew Rodriguez and Jamar Dumas, our front row, when we go back green here on lap number 27. Then you got Jason Gracias on the inside of row number 2 with the number 99 of Philip Scott. Then back behind them, David Durand and the 49 of Mitchell Adams, Keith Carball, Vincent Valvano, then the number 35, Robert Tripp, and Johnny Williams rounding out our top 10 right now. Bob, I think it's going to be a little bit of a sprint to the end here, and I think it's going to matter how much you saved your tires in the opening 20 laps or so.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be an elbows out 10 laps, that's for sure. The top 8 drivers are going to be getting stage points as the 57 of Matt Rodriguez leads them through the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Oh, the 28 gets turned, and a lot of cars involved.
A lot of cars involved. Mitchell Adams in the number 49 involved, unfortunately. Let's see if we can see what all happened here. On board with Philip Scott, right behind the number 28 machine. This will give us a good look exactly what happened. The 28 just... Did someone hit him there? I was looking away, but that did not look good for the number 28 machine. Here we go again. Watch the 28 machine just... turned hard right, and just the field gets stacked up. Philip Scott nowhere to go for him. A tough break there.
Yeah, definitely a tough break. Looks like, and that's one of the issues on the outside line that these cars are going to have. They're old tires, about 27-ish laps on them, and you're coming up. The banking is so big, you're getting going. You get a little too hard on the gas, and the car turns right hard into the wall, and that's exactly what happened to him, which is it's definitely a tough break. I mean, took out a couple of really, really strong cars, and we'll see here. Take a look at those revs, and right there, just kind of gassed it up, lit up the rear tires, spun them, and that's just kind of all she wrote there.
On board here with Mitchell Adams, watch what happened right in front of him. There's the initial spin, and just absolutely no time for Mitchell to react to that. Tough for him. I think even more tough for Philip Scott. Let's go on board with the number 99, get a look out front, and just watch that 28 just shoots to the wall, and nowhere for the 64 machine, Vincent Valvano, to go. Good job by the back half of the field to honestly check up and avoid that from becoming any bigger than it was, but at least 3 drivers getting some significant damage out of all that mess. Now the big question is this the stage caution? Not 100% sure if it is or not, because no one's come down pit road here, Bob, but it is still the 57 and Matthew Rodriguez leading.
Yeah, Peter, just hearing from race control now that this is not the stage break caution because it did not happen within 5 laps of the stage break. So they are going to restart and do it all over again before we get to the stage break. But, maybe this time it'll be a little less elbows out for the next restart here.
Yeah, just maybe rein it in. I mean, here's the thing that sucks. If you're Jamar Dumas, you were the first one to experience that, right? So now everyone else in the field can go, oh, I just saw what happened. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make that mistake because I saw that happen right there in front of me. And all it takes is you to experience that once, and you learn from it. I'll tell you what.
Exactly, Peter. It's a shame that Jamar was our guinea pig, for lack of a better phrase. But I guarantee you, Jason Gracias there, he's starting P2. He's going to be up there on the outside, and he might lay back a little more on the restart just so he doesn't spin up the tires, or maybe instead of starting in first gear, he's going to go up a gear in second and, maybe take that little bit of a penalty that it's going to give you where you're a little slower off the line, but you're not going to light up the tires like we just saw.
Yeah, so this has given the 74 of Jake Bustos more time to come back down pit road and get any further damage that he has on that car. I'm not really seeing any, but another long stop. Maybe he had to go use the restroom or something. Nature calls sometimes. But we'll mention that Mike Tellier in the number 97 has been able to get back onto the lead lap. It is the Cyberpunk Edge Runner number 97 right there. With getting back on the lead lap, I think he was able to do so during the first caution. He's also been able to crack inside the top 10 with that accident that just happened that kind of shuffled up the field a little bit, in the midfield at least. And look at Mitchell Adams back up there in fourth. He was involved in that first NAFU. My, oh my. Good job, Mitchell, to stay up there inside the top 5. And I think we're going to be going back green here as the field doubles up here on the backstretch.
Yeah, good to see there that the car's not too badly damaged. You see a little bit of damage there above the left front wheel. But another driver who's having a good night so far there in P6, 35 machine of Mint Chocolate Trip, as he's there on the outside.
That's good. Did it take you 30 laps to think of that? I mean, I hadn't thought of it. So, I mean,
yeah,
you're probably 200 laps faster than I am to think of that. Jeez. But that's pretty good. Pace car is on pit road. That's also good news as we're getting set to go back green here. The number 57 of Matthew Rodriguez, who has led pretty much every single lap. I think he's led every single lap up to this point. We'll see whether or not that changes as we got 5 laps until caution flag will wave at the end of the stage. But we also dole out stage points here, Bob. And with the championship wrapping up 2 weeks from tonight, every point matters.
Yeah, every single point is going to matter here. And, look for a little bit of a battle there around 8th. Mike Floppy Tellier is one of our chase drivers. Same with Tristan Maher. They're down there on the bubble of stage points here. So this battle is going to be really, really interesting here. Only 4 laps to go, but right now out front, Matthew Rodriguez driving away again.
Yeah, Rodriguez has just been so good. I was a bit concerned that his tires were wearing out under that long green flag run that we had before the 17 of Maher spun around. But he's done a great job here on this restart to kind of leg it out, almost up to a half second again. Jason Gracias there behind him. Mitchell Adams back up into third, although he's side by side with the number 50 of Bill Edwards, who did come down pit road. I think he took on fresh tires in that Chevy Camaro. So really, Bill here trying to get all he can get before the stage caution. We got 2 laps until the stage caution. He's going to try and look to the high side here for second. Bob, do you think Bill could win this stage here as he looks like he's going to complete that pass as Rodriguez gets loose in front of him, and Edwards going to get a little bit of a 2-for-1 here as he goes from third to the lead in a half a lap.
Peter, I was going to say it's going to be close here with a lap to go, but after that, he has got the momentum and the tires as well, as now Rodriguez is going to fall back into the clutches of Jason Gracias. So move Bill Edwards there up to first. He's more likely than not going to be winning this stage. But the battle here is for second now between Rodriguez and Gracias.
Yeah, it looks like Rodriguez coming out of the corner will take second. Edwards up to a 1 second lead there at the end. Made it look easy. David Durand fourth. Mitchell Adams fifth. Tellier Maher and Keith Carball in the number 29, rounding out our drivers receiving points here in the Giaquinto Schue Repair 150 here on 3 Wide TV. Just 2 more races left in the season after tonight. Of course, next week we go to Nashville Superspeedway, and then we round out the season at Homestead, Miami on November 7th. Of course, 1 week from tonight, it will be October 31st, Halloween. Bob, I'm hoping we get to see some spooky paint schemes out there on the track next week.
I am definitely hoping so, Peter. See a lot of orange and black out there. Just some good old-fashioned spooky stuff, and I love it. I love seeing all these special paint schemes between the kids' paint schemes tonight and the special event that we're going to be doing at some point later on. But anytime anyone brings out those special paint schemes is always a great time, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what these drivers can come up with, because we've got some darn creative drivers out there.
Yeah, that we do. Meanwhile, Bill Edwards staying out, and pretty much the entire rest of the field, except for Jason Schue, are on pit road coming to their pit crews. Matthew Rodriguez waiting all the way to get towards the end of pit lane to see his pit crew. Kind of narrow pit boxes here at Dover, Delaware. In fact, one of the narrowest in NASCAR. So you have to be on your marks. There's Jamar Dumas coming into his pit box. There's Philip Scott in his pit box. So good job by all these drivers. This looks like the number 57 down and away, number 1 behind him, then Mitchell Adams side by side between Tellier and Maher for the 5th or 6th driver off pit road. Then comes the 64, Garrett Gleason, Jamar Dumas, Philip Scott. In fact, it looks like Philip had one of the longer pit stops, but that's not too surprising, as the number 99 did have a little bit of damage picked up a little while ago. So Bill Edwards, Jason Schue stayed out, but Jason, looks like he is going to come down onto pit road this time. So that leaves our stage winner, Bill Edwards, as the only driver to stay out under this caution flag. Bob, you have to think that the pace out of that number 50 was good, but now things are kind of swapped the other way. Slightly older tires on the number 50. It's going to give pretty much the rest of the field an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. He had probably about 9 laps on his tires before we went green the last time. And he's got, 14 on him now, because, that's how math works. But, he's going to have a little bit older tires. Everyone else is going to be there. Yeah, he may be pretty strong in the beginning of this run, but I think within about 5 to 10 laps, he might start sinking back a little bit, unless he goes ultra conservative when it comes to saving tires. And, I can see him falling back just a little bit here at the start of this one.
And for those at home wondering, why did Bill Edwards try that move? Why is he doing something a little bit different? Well, he comes into tonight 3rd spot in points, just 16 points behind Jason Gracias. For winning a stage, you get 8 points. So that's a pretty good points haul. And he's going to close in a little bit more on Jason Gracias, a little bit more on Tristan Maher. And that's what he needs to do if he wants to have a shot at Homestead, Miami 2 weeks from tonight. Edwards will lead us back to green flag. Pace truck on pit road, Bob. Now we're back racing here at Dover.
Great jump there by the 50 of Bill Edwards. He's got Matt Rodriguez on his outside. Rodriguez been on that P1, P2 stance since pretty much the beginning of the race when he took the lead from Jamar Dumas, but everyone there cleanly through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway, and then as they dive off into the corner, you can really see the banking, how different it is from the straightaway to the corner, as the 3 of Jason Schue looks like he was taking a really high line there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, he was taking the really, really, really high line, as we got a side-by-side battle for the race lead up at the front of the field. Matthew Rodriguez, who has led the most laps here tonight, just coming up a little bit short of winning that stage. He's going to get back out front in the number 57, side by side a little bit further back. Mitchell Adams and Jason Gracias. Gracias just going to be very gentlemanly about that. Let Mitchell on by. Slides back to fourth spot behind them. Looks like Maher and the number 97 of Tellier duking things out for position. But the field now mostly single file here. This is probably the best battle for position between David Duran and Jake Bustos. Duran having a look to the inside in the Valvoline Chevy Camaro. Thinks better of it. Ducks back behind the number 74, at least for now, as we'll continue to let these laps click on by. And I think these drivers, Bob, they probably learned a little bit of something under that 20 or so lap green flag run that we had to start the race, that, maybe you shouldn't abuse the tires early as much as you did before.
Yeah, definitely. That first run is really a big, just answer-seeking stage where you can say, okay, I went pretty hard in this stage. What do my tires look like? Okay, I need to back it down a little bit. Or, vice versa, it could be one of those things where you didn't go as hard as you needed to, and you can say, okay, after about 30 green flag laps, my tires were, say, 85%. I can push a little bit more and still have the tires underneath me as the life of them goes away. So, there's a lot of fact finding that these drivers were doing there in that first stage, and they're going to put it to use here for the rest of the race.
Yeah, definitely gonna learn a little bit and use it out there on the racetrack. That's definitely what these drivers do. They're smart cookies out there on the race. Well, most of them are smart cookies. Put it that way. Then you got Garrett Gleason, who's that last on the field. Garrett, pick up the pace in that Zorse-powered machine. But right now, the number 57 of Matthew Rodriguez is the smartest cookie, leading the race as we close in on the 1/3 race mark here in just 4 laps from right now. It is a 1-mile racetrack, so you kind of count how many laps they've done as they click across the start-finish line. Makes it easy for us up here in the booth. 150 laps, 150 miles. Doesn't matter which way we slice the Giaquinto shoe repair. There's 150 all over the place. So that's good news for us. We don't have to be the smart cookies up here in the booth tonight, except for you, Bob. You're making the mint chocolate trip pun that wins brownie points. Not cookie points, brownie points.
I'll take some brownies after this. It's been a day. So a little brownie afterwards, some nice ice cream. I'm all in on that.
So battle back here for position. Mike Floppy Tellier just got around the number 1 of Jason Gracias. Philip Scott about a second or so behind Gracias, just kind of at the back of this picture. Philip leading a small train of drivers, including our number 28 machine, our pole sitter here tonight, who was involved in that accident to bring out the second caution flag of the night. Now, a bit surprised that the number 28's been able to hold on with all that damage it looked like he got. Currently inside the top 10 in 7th, so good run for him so far. Here's Maher, though, sliding back in the number 17 in danger here, falling outside of the top 10.
And who else is having a really good run there? That number 9 machine of Johnny Williams. He was just up there in the top 10, fell back after getting a couple cars around him, but a good, clean race there for that 9 of Johnny Williams, and man, that's awesome to see.
Yeah, that number 9, impressive here tonight. Has really struggled so far this season, but for right now, Williams mixing things up with Tristan Thuggy Maher, second place in points entering into tonight, just 3 points behind Jason Gracias. Not looking like the best points night for the Eclipse Photography Ford Mustang just yet, but maybe he's saving his tires. Still a long race left here tonight, just under 100 laps in this event to crown tonight's winner. Matthew Rodriguez, 0.7 of a second lead over Bill Edwards up front, then about another second back to Mitchell Adams, another 0.7 of a second back to Mike Floppy Tellier. Then Gracias is about another second back behind them as we see this battle in the back half of the top 10 between Jamar Dumas in the 28 and the number 5 of David Durand in the Valvoline machine. Looks like the number 64 of Alvano there getting a little loose out of turn 2.
Yeah, got a little bit loose, but that would have been a good position to attack the 28 of Dumas. He's going to try to get a nose under him. Can't quite do it there. But if he has that drafting help, he might be able to sneak down to the inside of Dumas down one of these straightaways. But as I say, this Thuggy Maher takes a look to the inside.
Yeah, looking to the inside, but thinks better of it, at least for right now. So pretty much all single file, a little bit further in front of them. Philip Scott right in front of David Durand. Durand has been closing in just a little bit after getting around the number 28 of Jamar Dumas. So that number 5 looking a little bit racy. Meanwhile, Mitchell Adams up there towards the front of the pack, racing with Mike Floppy Tellier. Tellier, I think, got to the outside. Tellier's tracked him down. Bob, you know, over the past couple of weeks, we've been seeing Tellier be so good on the short run, but really struggling as the run continues to go on. But Tellier here about 15, 20 laps into this particular run, doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing one heck of a job there tonight. Don't forget he had that drive-through penalty to start the race. Actually wound up starting from the pits, if I'm not mistaken. But a good run there as they're getting around. I believe that's the 7 of Garrett Gleason. They're going to be putting Garrett 1 lap down. First car 1 lap down. But lapped car throwing a little bit of a wrench in the works as Floppy was able to get around Mitchell Adams.
Yeah, got around him, so up into third for the Canadian driver. Garrett Gleason, unfortunately, is 1 lap down. Now, Gleason, I think, is on a slightly different strategy here, Bob. I think he's saving an extra set of tires, which is a brave and bold maneuver by the number 7 machine. Could play to his benefit if we get a couple of caution flags late. In fact, really, if we see a caution flag in the next probably 20, 30 laps or so, it would really benefit Garrett Gleason, but he's going to have to hold on for dear life in the number 7. It looks like Mitchell Adams holding on for dear life in his number 49 as he's fallen a spot to Jason Gracias. But here's that number 97, Tellier, looking for second, showing a nose to the number 50 of Edwards as they go off into turn number 3, and I think Edwards just going to wash up the racetrack and give it to the driver from Sarnia, Ontario.
Yeah, Edwards definitely let him by, but he closes the door quickly on his championship competitor there, Jason Gracias. And Edwards now, I think, is definitely starting to fall back and feeling the ramifications of having those older tires. Last pitted 35 laps ago. Everyone else was on pit road 23 laps ago. So that 13 or so lap difference starting to show up just a little bit there on that number 50 machine.
Yeah, Edwards dropping back with those older tires. Philip Scott about 0.7 of a second back behind Bill here. In fact, make that a half second. It's Mitchell Adams. What a tank slapper off of turn number 2. That was an impressive save. Edward had to check up, and that 0.7 of a second gap that he had to Philip Scott has absolutely disappeared as Philip now moves up into 5th, and he's going to try and make it a twofer here as he's going to try and get around Mitchell Adams. This is the battle for 4th right here on your screen. The World Ninja League Ford Mustang, a new look on that Mustang this week as Adams continuing to struggle with the handling of that Camaro. Going to drop now down to 6th spot, and David Durand will be creeping in the background as well. Jason Gracias, though, has run down the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. This will be a battle for position here momentarily as Gracias again showing his muscle late in the run. Just didn't quite have enough to get around Matthew Rodriguez in that little bit of a sprint to lap number 35. You have to think here, Bob, we're at lap number 64, about 30 laps removed from that stage caution, and we're seeing that number 1 machine creep into the picture again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that just goes to show, A, how good Jason is at this track, but B, also how good he is at saving tires. He was on pit road last with everyone else, and now he's starting to come alive a bit. So he was able to get those tires saved, and he's going to mount a little bit of a run here as this long green flag run runs on.
So we got this battle right now, a little bit further behind your leaders. This is Tristan Maher, David Durand, Jake Bustos in the 7th, 8th, and 9th position. Number 74, Bustos now looking to the inside of Durand. Will complete that pass. Here comes Valvano also making the pass. So move Vinny up to 9th. This group is closing in on Mitchell Adams and Bill Edwards. So this group here definitely saved their tires for the opening half of this run. That's Bob. I don't expect them to go maybe but to lap 100, 90 to 100 before they come back onto pit road to make green flag pit stops, because you're going to want tires. Talk about fall off here. The best times are in the low 23s, 23.15 fastest lap by Matthew Rodriguez. Last time by, he was 2 seconds slower than his fastest lap here tonight. So that's a pretty drastic fall off. You're probably screaming for fresh tires at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. And, the amount of load that goes onto that right front tire, especially in these corners, it's high speed, high banked, all the way to the cars, getting pressed on that right front tire. So that's really gonna wear it down as this run goes on. And they're going to be sitting there saying, man, I want tires right now. I hate that there's a limit, I'm sure is what these drivers are all saying. They want to get more tires. They want to get faster. They want to be able to have a good handling race car. And, they're just fighting everything out there on the track.
Yeah, some of these drivers fighting a little bit more than others right now on the racetrack. Mitchell Adams has been fighting with the number 49. He has now fallen into the clutches of Bustos. The number 74 Cali scheme right there. If you're just now joining us for the first time here tonight, a lot of these cars that you're seeing on the racetrack here tonight have been designed by a bunch of elementary schoolers, and a couple of the folks here in the TNR. Oof, boy, that was a big moment there for Mitchell Adams. But a couple of these drivers here in the TNR community have put the paint schemes that the elementary schoolers put together and actually put them here on these cup cars here in the 3-wide TV Cup Series. So pretty cool to see that. Number 49 is one of those, but he lost another spot there to Tristan Maher, so drop him down to 8th. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, if you've been keeping your eye there on the left-hand side of your screen at the scoring pylon, well, you will have noticed that Jason Gracias has really been running down Matthew Rodriguez as they're both loose up off of turn number 4. And we have a battle for the race lead here as we close in on the half race distance.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun battle to watch. Looked like Rodriguez got a little loose there, might have scraped the wall a little bit coming out of 4 last time by. Here comes Gracias down low. He's going to think about going underneath the 57. Can't quite get that one to stick. And he's going to be within about a car length here as they complete lap number 73.
Yeah, Jason Gracias, who is non-stop racing for that number 1 machine, as Rodriguez again really loose there out of turn number 2. Let's see if he's going to hold on to that lead as he's running that higher side of the racetrack, which usually if you have a looser race car, that higher line is where you want to be. He made it work there off of turn number 4. Good job there by Rodriguez. Again, he goes up to that higher side of the racetrack. It just allows you to get a straighter run up off the corner and not lose those rear tires quite so much. He did that again, but Gracias, you're going to kind of have to force him down to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to be tough to pass in his current location, and this is also allowing the number 97 and the number 99 back behind them to do battle, and these two not seeing eye to eye after last week. Philip scooting on by, move Philip up onto the podium, as this time Gracias with a big run now on the outside. I was expecting Rodriguez to kind of keep that number 1 on that inside line, but now I'd say that Gracias has the preferred line as he does lead lap number 76 here. Or excuse me, that was the halfway mark. Led lap number 75. So 75 laps down, 75 to go here in the Giaquinto Schue Repair 150.
Yeah, great move there, trying to fake out Rodriguez as Gracias was able to get around him. There's the 97 of Mike Floppy Teller. Got a little loose there out of 2, which is going to allow the 99 of Philip Scott to just drive away ever so slightly. But he's going to try to mount up a comeback as he got loose again there out of 4.
Now a little bit further back in the pack, Mint Chocolate Trip and Keith Carball battling for position back here. They've been kind of locked in this battle for the last little bit. Mitchell Adams and David Durand also locked in a battle at the very tail end of our top 10. Mitchell in that number 49 running the middle side of the racetrack. Then the number 5 running just a little bit lower of David Duran Jr. So good battles kind of happening all over the racetrack, but that is the lead Jason Gracias has been able to acquire here as the lap count continues to click on. Garrett Gleason in the number 7 has come down pit road, so expect him to be a absolute bullet here when he comes out in fresh tires.
Yeah, that's for sure. Good to see him down there on pit road. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up, however, Peter. He's currently 3 laps down and about to go a 4th. However, you'd wind up losing about a lap and a half or so when you're down pit road at the very least, maybe even 2 laps. So, he's able to get that thing rolling now. And once green flag pit stops come up for the rest of these drivers, he might be starting to look pretty good out there.
Yeah, the big question is, he did save that that extra set of fuel and extra set of tires. Fuel, tires, they're the same thing, right? You get it in the pit stop. But the extra set of tires, which could really be to his advantage late. I'm just looking to make sure, no penalties or anything on the number 7 machine. He's just 4 laps down right now. Going to have to wait for the pit cycle to kind of work its way on through. Johnny Williams now going a lap down in the number 9 machine. He's continuing to let these leaders on by. Good job there, Johnny, letting all these leaders race it out. I do want to make mention that we have a new player up towards the front of the field. That is Jake Bustos, who got around the number 97. We had highlighted him, saying that he's probably been saving a bunch of tire. Well, he's been saving that tire, and he's starting to make use of that tire as he works his way up towards the front of the field. As Matthew Rodriguez coming on pit road this time by in the number 57. Hopefully he made it down onto pit road okay, but that's definitely going to kind of open up the pit cycle here, Bob.
Yeah, it's definitely going to open things up, that's for sure, Peter. As right now with the 57 of Rodriguez down, you're probably going to see a few more guys coming down pit road as well within the next couple of laps. Don't forget, they all pitted last back during the stage break 47 laps ago. So that is certainly going to be interesting. And taking a look now, looks like Rodriguez, well, he just got down to his pit box here. So we'll see if he starts rolling within the next couple of seconds. And he does. So he was able to get down on pit road and on under pit road speed. So no penalty there for him, which is great to see.
Yeah, he must have been pretty hot getting to his pit box because of that smoke that we saw there on pit road entry. But there is your race leader, Jason Gracias, continuing to circle around the racetrack. We're down to 65 laps to go this time by. Jason electing to stay out. Philip Scott up into 2nd. Jake Bustos into 3rd. Although Bustos has caught the number 99 of Philip Scott, this will be a good battle between these 2 drivers. Johnny Williams finds himself 1 lap down yet to pit. Matthew Rodriguez only lost a lap on pit road in the number 57. We'll see how that kind of shakes out here in just a little bit, whether or not maybe Matthew, will let it all cycle out, get back onto the lead lap, or maybe he'll get past Johnny Williams and be in that lucky dog spot if a caution flag was to come out. But definitely, Bob, you're going to lose at least a lap here on this pit lane, especially with the speeds they're going out there here at this 1-mile racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. With not only the speeds they're going out there on the racetrack, but pit road speed, if I'm not mistaken, is 35 miles an hour, which is just so slow if you're used to running 170, 180 miles an hour here. So, getting down on a pit road is tough as well. So, you're going to lose some time on pit road. You just have to make sure you're getting down onto pit road under the speed limit. And, you're going to have to just kind of hope the rest of the field comes down and pits soon as well.
Yeah, actually interesting that we haven't seen more takers on pit road, to be perfectly honest with you, Bob. I expected to see a whole slew of drivers start to hit the pit lane when the number 57 kind of made that trek down. Not sure if he took on less fuel or something than some of these other drivers, but nonetheless, Bill, we're at speed for your race leaders. But so far, good job by the field. We going back to lap number 35 when we had our stage caution. That was the last caution we saw here. We had a couple of cautions, I think 3 in the opening 35 laps. But since then, it's been clean and green, good racing amongst the field as Gracias up to a 1.7 second lead over Jake Bustos that you see right there. Just got around Philip Scott for second. But then a little bit further back, there's the number 17 of Tristan Maher trying to run down Bill Edwards. And Bob, I've been impressed with how Bill Edwards here kind of late in the run. Remember, he had older tires, and I've been impressed that he's kind of been able to kind of solidify himself inside the top 5. Right now, being scored in 4th.
Yeah, Peter, that's for sure. I mean, you know, before we went back green, I had even said that I'm expecting him to fall back quite a bit. But he's been able to hold strong right there in the top 5. He lost a few spots and, you know, was able to gain some more after drivers went down pit road. But, you know, he's been looking really, really stout there, especially on these old tires.
Yeah, good job there, Bill. In the number 50, he's got, I think that's Jessa who painted that number 50 machine. There you see it. Good looking green and pink scheme. Definitely can't miss Bill Edwards out there on the racetrack, the Silent Syndicate racing driver. Can't miss that one. Great looking scheme right there.
That's for sure. Green and pink are great looking colors that go together, and they look even better out there on a race car. So great job there by Jessa to paint up a really, really cool looking car.
Currently up there in the 4th position as well. Field pretty much strung out here. Got Garrett Gleason being scored 3 laps down. Keith Carball being scored now 2 laps down. Johnny Williams in the number 9 has finally made its way down pit road. Jamar Dumas, our pole sitter, has come down pit road here under this green flag round of pit stops. He looks like he is now down and away. So working his way back up onto the racetrack, being scored now 2 laps down. It's pretty crazy to see these drivers fall, 1-2 laps down under this cycle. Garrett Gleason in his situation 3 laps down, but has an extra set of tires that could be very beneficial late in the race, but he's definitely going to have to get everything kind of sorted out. There's Mitchell Adams at number 49 coming down pit road. That is painted by Enda. I have to say, if you look at that car, that's a Mitchell Adams race car. Mitchell loves orange and blue, and that definitely goes right in line with the vibes of Mitchell Adams that we usually see him in. This looks like the number 35 Robert Tripp on pit road behind.
Yeah, definitely some great looking race cars there. As we see that is the 35 of Mint Chocolate Tripp, but no number painted there on the car. That was painted up by Carson, I believe. Good looking race car there as well.
Yeah, you don't need a number, Bob, when you got Mint Chocolate Tripp. It just works so well that you don't need a number. You know exactly who it is. That's Mint Chocolate Tripp right there. But there's the number 57 of Matthew Rodriguez, who's just been pounding out lap after lap after lap after lap with those fresh tires, as Jason Gracias, our leader, finally coming down pit road. In fact, Matthew Rodriguez just unlapped himself. How about that? Rodriguez is now back on the lead lap with older tires, but he's been absolutely flying out there trying to make up all that he can make up. The bad news for him is, if we get something like a caution flag at the wrong time, that's going to completely change the complexion of this race, especially if you're Matthew Rodriguez, as Philip Scott comes to pit lane in the World Ninja League Ford Mustang. That leaves Mike Floppy Tellier, Vincent Valvano to go 1 and 2 atop the scoring pylon. So there is Mike, our race leader from Sarnia, Ontario. I think he's the only Canadian still here in the field. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I'm probably going to get chastised by a Canadian. Although, Bob, they're usually very nice people. They don't like to cause strife.
That is true. There might be a couple of sorries thrown in there, but overall, I'm sure they'll understand.
I'd probably say sorry, and then I'll take you to get some poutine down at the Timmy's. Hey?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no!
Little bit of,
Number 97, he's trying to find some poutine by going into the outside wall. And might be pouting after that outside wall as he gets close to it again. Whew, boy. He's running on the edge with that edge runner scheme.
Yeah, that is for sure. He's got 65 laps out there, and yeah, that'll probably do it as he got really close to that attenuator again. We know he has a bit of an affinity for hitting those pit attenuators. We've seen him hit them at, I believe, Homestead and Darlington in various races here as well. So good to see him keep that car in one piece, and yeah, that's a good-looking cyberpunk car for sure.
I was just about to make the big boosh sound with him hitting those barrels like we have seen before, but out there on the racetrack right now, it is Matthew Rodriguez in the number 57, who happens to be your race leader by 18 seconds. Yes, do not adjust your TV set or your monitor. That is an 18-second lead. Now, it is coming down in a hurry because Rodriguez on the older tires, remember we mentioned up to 2 seconds of fall off here at Dover International Speedway here tonight. In fact, let's see if we can bring up what that looks like at the bottom of your screen. You can see when Jason Gracias went down pit road. He lost 31 seconds in one lap. But then, look at ever since. 3/10, 6/10, 5/10, 1 whole second on lap 103. So Gracias is hauling the mail. And if he can keep that up, Bob, we'll be looking at a battle for the race lead here in about 16 to 20 laps.
Yeah, Peter, and like I was gonna, you had just said, he's got about a 15-second lead now. That's already dropped down to about 14 and a half seconds in that little description alone. So Jason Gracias is on his way. All he has to do is just ride a clean race, get out of the wall, make smart moves and get around lap traffic the right way, and he's going to catch Rodriguez in plenty of time. But, we'll see how that one goes. Anything can happen here. There's still 43 laps to go. There could be cautions, a lot of guys on differing strategies as well. So someone could spin, get in the wall, collect someone else. So anything still could happen, but right now it's looking like Gracias is going to be able to track down the 57 of Rodriguez within the next few laps.
Well, I just love what you're seeing bottom right-hand corner of your screen. The number 57 right now is halfway down the backstretch at the top of the screen. The number 1 machine, Jason Gracias, is about a half of a lap behind. Jason Gracias going into turn number 1 right now, working his way now out of turn number 2 right when the 57 here on screen is working his way off of turn number 4. So Gracias is a half lap behind your leader. We're working lap number 109. How long will it take for him to erase that half of a lap lead that Matthew Rodriguez has? I don't know, but it is definitely going to be fun to find out here on the channel. Bill Edwards riding in 3rd, Jake Bustos in 4th after everything is kind of shaking out. Tristan Maher, then Philip Scott, Jamar Dumas, Mitchell Adams. Just seeing if there was any big losers on pit road. Keith Carbaugh had a long pit stop, 18.43. Johnny Williams had a long stay on pit road as well, 37.7 seconds for the number 9. But beyond that, pretty much everyone in the 14.6 to 15.6 second bracket. But Matthew Rodriguez, one of the faster drivers on pit road. His pit stop time, 14.6 seconds. That was better than a lot of the drivers around him, but he did not get a great pit lane entry. Jason Gracias about a second faster in the pit lane entry lap, so that definitely played to the advantage of Jason Gracias, who just clicked under 10 seconds behind, so he's definitely moving.
Yeah, Peter, and that last time by, Matthew Rodriguez ran a 25.084, whereas Jason Gracias a 23.9. So about 1.1, 1.2 seconds faster that time by Gracias was over Rodriguez. So he's definitely on his way.
Yeah, there goes Mike Floppy Tellier to put himself back onto the lead lap. Tellier, one of the last drivers to come down onto pit road. Tellier currently being scored in 10th. There, back behind him is Robert Tripp, who is sitting 4 laps down right now in the Carson painted mint chocolate machine. Looks like he's going to have a look to the inside here. Put him down to just 3 laps behind your race leader. As we move on to lap number 114, just 37 laps ago. Gracias now 6 seconds behind. Make that under 6 seconds behind, as he is really the bottom. You can just kind of watch that number in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Oh, Matthew Rodriguez coming down pit road. What a slide. What a great job. But wow, this is an interesting call. I'm assuming he still got a set of Goodyear tires here, as he was kind of the first driver to come down pit road. I want to say around lap number 85 or so. It was an interesting call, but here he is back on pit road with 35 to go.
Yeah, last on pit road 33 laps ago. So I'm assuming he has that last set of tires in the pits, and this may work out if he can get a caution, but if they get a caution, everyone else will have that opportunity to come down pit road as well. So I'm a little curious as to, what the strategy was there for Rodriguez. But with him coming down pit road, your new leader, the one of Jason Gracias.
Yeah, Jason out there in the rainbow scheme is our points leader as well coming into tonight. Gotta turn our eyes back towards the point situation. Gracias came in with just a 3-point lead. Tristan Maher in his number 17, tied with Jason on wins with 5 apiece. Jason trying to be the discriminator here and go alone atop that standings with 6 wins here. But we still got plenty of time for something else to happen. Bill Edwards running in second. Good job by Bill under this pit sequence to kind of hold steady there on the podium. Of course, Edwards won the stage that we had in the opening 35 laps. And he's running still in second, Bob. I've been impressed with the way that number 50 is running here, because I think kind of things have been up against him, because for a while there he had the oldest tires in the field, and now he's kind of holding on with Jason Gracias just about 2 seconds back. If we get a caution flag, get fresh tires on these things, Bill could be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I definitely think he could. Bill is such a great, talented driver at saving his tires and saving his stuff, and we've seen him do it time and time again. He'll pit early, stay out, save tires, and this is another one of those things where he and Gracias both have about the same lap tires. He's on 23 lap old tires and Jason's on 22 lap old tires, so only a 1 lap difference. That's basically the exact same. And Edwards hanging on right now, about 2 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, just over 2 seconds, losing a couple of tenths over the last few laps. Meanwhile, we got this side-by-side battle. That's Tristan Thuggy Maher just got around Philip Scott. That will move the number 17. Well, at least temporarily move the number 17 up. But Philip's coming roaring back on that inside. They keep kind of dueling back and forth here. Of course, Philip, after last week at Darlington, 5th in points, well back. Tristan, on the other hand, in the number 17, came into tonight's second, just 3 points behind Gracias. But at least for right now, Gracias is set to be the big winner in the point situation. But Philip doing a good job trying to rebound after that tough race he had last week. He had a good race here on the channel on Friday night in the National Sim Racing Association, and he's trying to keep that momentum going here on 3Y TV. Going to try and close in on the podium here in the final 27 laps or so, as Garrett Gleason in the number 7 has entered pit lane for his final pit stop of the night, we do believe.
And definitely a tough break there for Philip. Was running really, really strongly. Like we said in the outset of this broadcast, the 99 had the pole, won the first stage, racing really well. Was caught back after a pit road penalty. Was making his way up through, and then had some contact between he and the 97, the Mike Floppy Tellier, and that ultimately led to a DNF for Philip. So he's going to try to claw back as many points as possible. Still currently riding in the 4th spot. Has the freshest tires out of everyone there in the top 5, only by about a lap or so. But, he's definitely moving up through the field and currently running P4.
Yeah, 4th position for right now. But meanwhile, up in front of him, Jake Bustos, while we're talking about that, able to get on by the number 50 of Edwards, so slide him back into 3rd. Now Philip Scott's going to try and make inroads on Bill. That would put Philip on the podium if he can catch him and pass him here in the final 24 laps here tonight. Garrett Gleason with that pit stop has dropped down to 16th position. We highlighted that, maybe it was a good idea to save a set of tires, but Bob, unfortunately, lots of green flag action here tonight, and it's kind of really killed Garrett's strategy as he finds himself 5 laps down as he's back on pit road. As I say that, might be calling it here, just kind of, maybe get off the track. His race might be run. We'll see, and yep, that's exactly what happened. Look, I called it. Right now, Gracias, he's running his own race, and got a 2.7 second lead over Jake Bustos.
Yeah, 2.7 seconds now over Bustos, and just kind of running away with it right now. Gracias so strong that time by Bustos was about a 10th faster, 24.8 versus 24.9. But I mean, right now, 22 to go, 2.5 second lead. I kind of think at this point this is Gracias's race to lose for sure.
Bustos is starting to claw his way back. Another 0.3 of a second. I don't know if we can count out that number 74 just yet. He's a ways back to over 2 seconds, but I don't know. Bustos, we call him Bridesmaid Bustos because he's finished a second a whole lot this season. In fact, looking at Jake Bustos' statistics, 8 starts entering into tonight, and he's finished second 4 times. He's finished second in half of the races he's run, and if he can keep that 1 to 0.3 of a second faster per lap, well, he might be able to get a win. As the 29 machine, Keith Carball, hard into the outside wall. I think he was taken a little bit off guard there by Jason Gracias closing in so fast.
Yeah, that's so hard to do, especially in the corner. You see the leader, you look up in your mirror, you see him there, you kind of panic and get out of the way as much as you can. And, unfortunate there for Carball, and now he's going to be stuck on the high side for a while, letting the rest of the field go by him before he can get down pit road.
If you look at Jake Bustos and his statistics this year, of his 8 starts, only one of those 8, which was back at Charlotte, where he led 40 laps in that race, has he actually finished outside of the top 5. He's finished 3rd at Daytona to start off the season, 3rd at Chicagoland, 2nd at Twin Ring Motegi, and then was off for the next 4 or 5 races. Then came back at Sonoma, finished in 2nd. Talladega got 2nd there, then 2nd again at Iowa. Then had that hiccup at Charlotte and finished 5th last week at Darlington. So Bustos, he's done everything he needs to, all but get to victory lane this season. Might he change that here tonight as we're down to 16 more laps to go here at Dover?
Well, he's certainly got the chance there. About a 1/10 of a second again faster than the number 1 machine, and you just kind of saw that gap there. Only 1.7 seconds left. There's Gracias there in the rainbow colored car, and you'll see a bright purple and pink machine just out of the frame there. That is Bustos, so that's really all he has to work with right now. About a 1.5 seconds now. He's picked up another 1/10 or so. on this lap, and now 15 to go. I'm starting to change my mind there. Maybe Bustos will be able to catch him.
And bad news for Jason Gracias is he's got Matthew Rodriguez behind him. Now, Rodriguez is being scored one lap down right now in 11th. But Rodriguez is faster because he's got fresher tires. So we expect to see Rodriguez make a move to get himself back onto the lead lap. That, you would think, will maybe cause Gracias to lose a little bit more time. But, of course, Bustos also has to deal with the lap traffic there of Robert Tripp. Oh, wow, Matthew Rodriguez slams the outside wall off of turn number 4. That's not going to do good things for the Kroger 57. Well, maybe that will slow up Matthew Rodriguez. He smacks the wall again off of turn number 2. Holy smokes, that 57 is turning into a bucking Bronco. Maybe he won't get to the number 1, but the number 1 is buried deep in traffic right now, and he's got David Duran, the number 5, 10th place driver, about to fall one lap down.
Yeah, and that's a tough break there for Duran. Great race, very quiet race, but a good, strong race there. But now watch how Gracias has Rodriguez right on his back bumper, and they're going to be side by side. If I am the 74 of Jake Bustos, I'm saying, come on, guys, give him a hard time. Let me at least catch up and give me a chance here. But now that he's got 2 lap cars side by side right in front of him, Bustos is going to have to make some moves quick.
Yeah, Bustos, we'll keep our eyes on him in that number 74. Oh, that's the wrong one. There's there's Bustos in number 74. He's slicing and dicing past David Duran. Now has to deal with the number 57 of Matthew Rodriguez. Now 1 second between Gracias and Bustos as they don't have any cars between them. It's go time here at Dover. Someone's ringing the bell as we're down to 10 more laps to go here on 3YTV.
Yeah, 10 laps left here at Dover. Clean track between Bustos and Gracias now. And Gracias bearing down on a couple of lapped cars. He's got the 9 of Johnny Williams, I believe, in front of him. And pardon me, that's actually the 64 of Vinny Valvano in front of him. So Gracias still has some strong cars right in front of him with Valvano and the 28 of Jamar Dumas there. So if I'm Bustos, I'm saying, man, I don't want to be the bridesmaid again. Give him a hard time. Let me get around these guys.
Yeah, that number 1, of course, if you're Vincent Valvano, you aren't too concerned at this point about the number 1 catching the 28 of DeMar Dumas. Just because Dumas is up the road a little bit, and if a caution flag was to come out, it would be Vincent Valvano getting the lucky dog, although as I say that, he's going to wash up the racetrack, let Bustos on by. He's going to fall into the clutches back there of Matthew Rodriguez. If Rodriguez is able to get past Valvano, that would put Rodriguez into the lucky dog spot. 0.7 of a second up front between Gracias and Bustos. 7 laps to go. Bustos is closing in about 1/10 of a second per lap. If you do the math, folks, that's going to put Bustos pretty much right on the back bumper of Jason Gracias at the checkered flag. It expands just a little bit that time, though. Bustos up to 0.75 seconds behind Gracias at the start-finish line. So Bustos really needs to get on it here, although Gracias has caught more lap traffic, as Gracias now has to deal with the 28, our pole sitter here tonight, Jamar Dumas.
Yeah, Dumas looks like he's going to let him go, and he does. But now that is going to be a bit of a hurdle there for Jake Bustos to get around him. And he's also got Johnny Williams right behind him as well. Williams has much fresher tires than Bustos. So that might be a hurdle as well for Jake. And right now, Gracias looking like he's in a pretty good position there, but now Dumas lets him go by.
Yeah, so once again, it is Gracias and Bustos together on the racetrack, down to 0.6 of a second between those two. Gracias closing in on the back of Mitchell Adams in the number 49. Of course, Adams trying to stay where he is because he's got Jamar Dumas and Vincent Valvano not all too far back, which would be battles for position for him. We'll see what Mitchell does here. He stays high on the racetrack, and Gracias catches him at the wrong spot right there on corner exit. That's going to thwart the number 1 all the way down the front stretch, allows Bustos to now close into under a half second, but only 3 more laps left to go. It has been a spirited effort, you'd have to say here, Bob, by the number 74 of Jake Bustos to really close in, but it's back up to about 0.6 of a second as Gracias has finally clean track in front of him.
Yeah, first time in quite a while for Gracias to have clean track, but that is your gap between the leaders right there. Only a couple of car lengths, 2 laps to go here at Dover.
2 laps to go at Dover. Race leader Jason Gracias out of turn number 2 down the backstretch for the penultimate time here tonight. Off into turn number 3. Just a half second separating our top 2 drivers after 150 miles. We've been green flag since lap number 35. Can you believe it? It has been a great run in to the checkered flag. Final lap now for the number 1 has the paint scheme designed by Emily. And coming around down the backstretch into turn number 3, as long as he's got enough fuel, Bob, it looks like Gracias is going to get win number 6.
Yeah, here he comes out of turn number 4. He's got the gas. He's got the car. Jason Gracias is going to win at Dover.
And win the Giaquinto Schue Repair 150 here tonight on 3 Wide TV. And more importantly, Bob, points lead. Points for Jason Gracias. Our points leader coming into tonight. Going to pick up a whole bundle more. Bill Edwards in the number 50, 3rd place in points. He's going to come home 3rd. And then the driver coming in 2nd spot in points, Tristan Thuggy Meyer. Not sure what happened to Thuggy there late. Came in with 5 laps to go. I'm not sure if he ran out of fuel or something, but that's heartbreak for the number 17.
Yeah, such a tough break there for Thuggy. He was having himself a good race, got caught up and was the cause of the first caution there. But, definitely a tough break for that number 17 Ford just to have to come down pit road with 5 to go like that. It's such a tough break.
Yeah, wondering if we can maybe get some more details on what happened to Tristan Thuggy Maher. But number 1 machine, Jason Gracias, burning it down here on the front stretch. In fact, maybe burning it down a little bit too much. As, it's still running. It just brought it to a halt there for some post-race celebration here on 3 Wide TV. But going to be fun to get some post-race interviews for you folks here. Let's see if we can get the folks down into where they need to be. And there we go. I think we got everyone where they need to be. Let's see if we can take it away, starting with Mr. Bill Edwards finishing in 3rd here tonight. Bill, Peter Short, 3 Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a little bit of different strategy for you there to get that stage win. You did pick up lots of points there, so that was good, but that kind of put you off tire strategy there for the back half of the race. You a bit surprised that we didn't have any further cautions after that stage 1 there on lap number 35?
Yeah, I was kind of banking on it. I don't know. I saw an opportunity to grab an easy 8 points, so I did it. It did put me back a ways. I was off pit with everybody else. I was doing pretty good at saving the tires, but it's hard. You can't get up there and race for the win when you got older tires. So, but hopefully the points work out and it was worth it. But we'll see once Garrett gets the points added in.
Yeah, we will of course see those points here soon for all to gaze upon with only 2 races left. Of course, rounding out the season at Homestead, Miami, but Nashville Super Speedway next week. What are your thoughts about those final 2 races?
Super Speedway. I like Super Speedway races. We'll just have to see if I can, keep it from driving on its hood. But other than that, where's the last place? Is it Homestead?
Yeah, it's Homestead, Miami, down there in Florida.
I like Homestead, so that should be a fun race. Next week's probably going to be a toss-up. I don't know that I've ever even raced Nashville, so we'll have to see. But, I'm just going to keep coming out here and trying to put some top 3s in. I think at this point I might need a little luck, but we'll see. Dover, it's a fun track. I had a blast. It was long green flag runs all the way through. One yellow would have been nice. I wouldn't have argued about it, but I'll take third.
I'll tell you what, if you're expecting the Nashville Super Speedway to race like a super speedway, you are going to be in for an interesting one, because let me tell you, it races like Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
It's basically Kentucky.
I might have to do a couple laps and see what it's all about then.
yeah. I'll tell you what, if you keep it flat out there at Nashville Super Speedway, something. I mean, it must be in an IndyCar or something. But Bill, great race here tonight. You got some fans in the chat as well. So let's hear those shout outs.
I gotta give a shout out to TNR 3 Wide TV. Give a shout out to my mom for watching. All my S2R boys, everybody out here on the track, all the admins in this league. Yeah, that'll do it.
All right. Well, Bill, congratulations on coming home with third here tonight, and we'll see you again next week.
Oh, hey, one more thing. I got to give a shout out to Jessa for giving me my awesome paint scheme.
Hey, that's pretty cool what they had out there. But I got to say, that green and pink, that looked pretty darn good. That was a really good paint scheme. And that kind of fits in with your mantra as well, Bill. So it fit really well.
That's right. If you can't beat them, blind them.
There you go. You heard it first from Bill Edwards. If you can't beat them, you blind them. But Bill coming home in third here tonight. So I'm definitely in the not beating them here. But close. Bridesmaid Bustos, though, Bob. Again here tonight. I think you've caught up with him.
Down here with our second place finisher yet again for the fifth time this season, Jake Bustos. And Jake, man, that was close there, coming down with the last 15, 20 laps or so, just kind of tracking down Gracias. Take me through that great battle there.
Oh my God, man, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I hit the wall so hard, like 18 laps in. I had 3 minutes and 30 seconds of optional, and I'm thinking the race is over. And DJ, my crew chief, is trying to get me to calm down, and I'm just like losing it. And we got it all repaired, and I had no speed in the car whatsoever for a short run on fresh tires. The only thing that saved me was the long runs, because I was saving so much tire, not going fast enough, that at the end I was running, 2-3 tenths faster than the field. And we came out of the pits on that last thing, and I think I was like 5 or 6 seconds behind Jason, and then it was just slowly starting to tick down. And a couple lappers held him up a little bit, and I was just like salivating at a chance to at least try to run him. But in the end, we'll take another second in a race that I probably shouldn't have gotten second, and congrats to Jason.
Yeah, definitely. And, you mentioned saving tires, especially for the long run there. Did you have a feeling that we were going to get a long run, especially there where we had 3 cautions pretty much back to back there just before the stage?
I know with the quality of guys that we have here, that once we got settled in the first 5 to 7 laps, that we were gonna run. The only caution I might have thought we were gonna have would be maybe someone trying to get on pit road on green flags and spinning, but we usually run green flags, so I was feeling pretty confident about the long run after that first long run stint.
Well, next week we're taking it to Nashville Super Speedway. What are your thoughts on the track? Only 2 races left here in this 2022 A or B season.
I love Nashville. I think it's a great track to race on. It's super wide. You can move around. It's going to be another tire saving track. I guess you'd consider it my home track. I probably live about 45 minutes from the track here in Tennessee. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting out there and running with these guys again.
Well, it's definitely going to be great to see you out there next week, and hopefully we'll be able to get you one spot further up on that podium. But congrats there on the second place finish. And before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Absolutely. Got to thank G and Floppy and everybody at TNR for everything that they do. Thank you guys over here at 3 Wide TV. Always love the broadcast. Always love going back and watching them. DJ Weeks, my crew chief, amazing job tonight, because I was inconsolable for about 20 laps, and he just sat there and took it and got me back in the right mindset after that stage break. And really shout out to Bill for all these cars. I ran a car that a girl named Callie painted. And Callie, I'm sorry, I couldn't put it in victory lane. I did the best that I could. I hope I made you proud with your paint on the car. I think we're gonna keep this paint for the rest of the season. I like the way that it looks. And then just congratulations to the guys here at the drivers here at TNR. It's always good racing.
It's definitely a great looking car, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there next week at Nashville Super Speedway.
I appreciate it, Bob. Take care.
All right, well, that's Jake Bustos, our second place finisher for tonight, and I believe Peter's down in victory lane with our winner, the number 1 of Jason Gracias.
Yeah, I'm down here in victory lane with the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias. Victory lane, Jason, what a great run here tonight. That great race all the way to the end. Were you sweating it with Bustos starting to close in on you there in the final 20 laps or so?
Yeah, Bustos for sure was going to give me a run for my money. When I hit traffic, dirty air and my car did not mix. I don't know what it was. I needed a clean air to make the car rotate. And dirty air, I was just way too tight. And then when the guys got off the corner, I was breaking loose. So yeah, Bustos figured something out, how to navigate these cars in traffic. I still haven't figured that out, but for sure, if we had a couple more laps, maybe 5 more, maybe Bustos would have beat me. But thankfully, it was the Giaquinto Schue Repair 150 and not the Giaquinto Schue Repair 155.
Yeah, what a difference a couple of laps and a couple of miles can make between, well, really make or break. But it is a big win for you here with 2 races left in the championship. Came in tonight as the points leader, and we'll add some points to that points lead with the win. But we got a very interesting one, Nashville Super Speedway, which does not race like a super speedway. And then rounding out the season, Homestead, Miami. What are your thoughts about the final 2 rounds this season?
Nashville should be interesting. I don't know how this car races there. I've never turned a lap in the A car. I know in the B car and the truck, it was very tight. So I can only imagine how this car is going to be. But Homestead, I'm looking forward to. Next to Dover, Homestead's probably one of my favorite tracks on the circuit, just because of 1, I love Miami. 2, the walls are beautiful and baby blue. And 3, it provides the best racing in all series and virtually and in real life. There's so many lanes to choose from. There's the top, there's the bottom. Dirty air really isn't a problem at Homestead, because if you can't pass them on the bottom, rip the top. If you can't pass them on the top, rip the bottom. So that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to next couple of weeks. Hopefully I can have a solid next few weeks, and hopefully I can put this car back in victory lane 2 more times, but we'll see. With tough competition this year, for sure.
Yeah, definitely tough competition here in the 3-Wide TV Cup Series. But before we let you go, any shout-outs that you'd like to give out, Jason?
Yeah, normally I'd be thanking Chris Darling and Max Graphics for sponsoring my cars, and typically Chris is my main sponsor, so shout out to Chris. But Bill Edwards and Fatal Concepts and Johnny Williams did a heck of a job all week making this special project for the kids' paint schemes cars look fabulous. These kids all put these cars out. To Garrett and Bill and Johnny did a great job of transforming these cars to something virtually that we can race on the track, and hopefully there's some cool pictures so we can share with the kids. And Emily, I hope you are excited. Even though there's a number 2 in your car, I put the number 1 Emily Rainbow car in victory lane. Thanks to all the usual guys through ITV for the broadcast, Giaquinto Schue Repair for the race sponsorship, Jason Schue for being our presenting sponsor, Thornton Graphix, Bagcraft, Dunn Raceway Park, Stay Tuned Sports, Garrett for putting the league together, and thanks for everybody who came out to race, and really appreciate these lap cars showing me and Bustos a lot of respect out there when we were racing for the lead. So definitely keep that in mind, and definitely repay the favor next season for sure, or next couple of weeks for sure. And thanks everybody in the chat for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Well, definitely going to be a fun one at Nashville Super Speedway. Jason, go enjoy your win here tonight. We'll see you then.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our post-race interviews. Bob, let's see if we can bring up those final race results here tonight. As there's 16 drivers that did battle out there on the racetrack. Bob, why don't you take it away with the top 16 tonight?
Definitely. Well, our winner tonight that we just spoke with, the number 1 of Jason Gracias. Jake Bustos comes home in second yet again. Bill Edwards in third. Philip Scott and Mike Floppy Tellier. Good comeback for Telliers after starting from the pits after a penalty from last race. He'll finish P5. Mitchell Adams and Jamar Dumas in 6th and 7th. Vinny Valvano 8th. Matthew Rodriguez a lap down in 9th. David Durand rounds out the top 10. Jason Schue in 11th. Robert Tripp 12th. Tristan Thuggy Maher, after having some issues at the end of the race, finishes 13th. Johnny Williams, good run for him in 14th. Keith Carball and Garrett Gleason will wrap out tonight's field of 16 drivers.
Yeah, so 16 drivers in the field. Hopefully we'll see some more next week at the very, very interesting Nashville Super Speedway. But 2 races left, Bob, and all to play for in the championship. And I think 2 of the best racetracks over the next 2 weeks, Nashville Super Speedway and Homestead, Miami. I'm looking forward to what's in store here.
Yeah, definitely. Nashville is one of those tracks where you have to race the track as much as you race the other drivers, just because it's so wide and it's such a strange arc, because it really feels like it's a 1.5 mile track, but it's more of a 1 1/3 mile track. And getting the corners is definitely tricky. These drivers are going to have to really work with these cars tonight or next week, and it's definitely going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, before we go, I want to give a big shout out to you, Bob, the Giaquinto Shoe Repair 150 here tonight. I also want to give a shout out to our series sponsors, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast, the Shoes Lawn Service, as well as Max Graphics, Dunn, Raceway Park, and kind of everyone else that put together Thornton Graphix to make the 3Y TV Cup Series what it is here on the channel. But until we meet again, stay safe and all that good stuff, and we shall see ya.